Grant, if we draft McDoofus, who's that? Please ask Kyle Shanahan how that is a high character guy. Love from Sweden. Hey, appreciate you all the way. Yeah, I mean, look, let's be clear. This stuff with Mac Jones is let's talk about Mac Jones. He's the next. Let's talk about that. Mac Jones. It's troubling. I mean, I don't want to pass judgment on a kid. And when I heard that he had a DUI at 18 or 19, I was like, you know what? He was 18. Has he gotten in trouble since? No. Let's give him the benefit of the doubt. Maybe that was the come to Jesus moment he needed, and that's the best thing that ever happened to him.
Right.
Well, now you get this video of him totally wasted at a club, and you look at his body, and you're like, man, are you a partier? Are you a partier? And it's like the fact that you even have to ask that question about a top 3 pick. You don't have to ask that about Trevor Lawrence, Zach Wilson, Justin Fields, or Trey Lance. And if you did have to ask that question about, let's say, the 2 African-American ones, it would be everywhere. But the fact that no one even says it about Mac Jones is like, come on, man. Come on. If we saw Justin Fields drunk as hell in a club, that would be on SportsCenter on a loop. And this is the same thing. And everyone's like, well, hold on. It's like, no, we should probably call it what it is. It's concerning. Yeah. And if they draft this guy, that's going to be like what the questions are about. Did you see the video? Well, what about the DUI? What about that picture of the Obama thing? Is that him? I mean, do you want that press conference to start to lead off?
It's not a good press conference to have. And supposedly teams have already seen this and heard about it. For me, I'm not defending Mac Jones at all. I definitely don't want him to be the pick, but I will say this. To me, I don't know when the photo came out, but it looks like a younger Mac Jones in that video to me. He's thinner in the face. He definitely looks younger. Heck, that might have been DUI night. I don't know.
We don't know.
I don't think
I
this
am
is
super sleuth Grant Cohn, though, real quick. What I did notice is he had a drink and he had a wristband, which would indicate that he showed an ID. Now, there was a report that he had a fake ID that he showed to a cop when he got the DUI. So we don't know.
Yeah.
We don't know.
Yeah. We have no idea.
Know. I'm sure the Niners know.
Yeah. We have no idea. But the bottom line is, well, let's answer the question and then we can move on.
Damn politics. Like, listen to what we were saying. We don't want to see Jimmy play great because Kyle will look silly. Oh, those kind of politics.
Yeah. I thought you were going
I mean, I think that's where Kyle's coming from. I don't think he wants the possibility because he's been blaming Jimmy for everything for 2 years. If God forbid Jimmy comes out with his hair on fire, as you said, and beats out whatever rookie it is, it's good for the organization, not necessarily good for Kyle Shanahan's ego.
Yeah.
All right. Let's get anything else you want to say about why they can't? I mean, there's a lot of reasons why they can't take Mac.
Oh, there's a ton of reasons.
Let's go through them.
Let's start off with, we talked about the DUI. We talked about the drinking thing. Those are red flags that no other quarterback has. So that's step one. Okay. Yeah. I understand it was when he was 19, but I don't know if you noticed this. Trey Lance was 19. He was having a perfect season at NDSU and winning the championship. So let's talk about
the DUI was kind of reckless, right? Like he was very drunk. Yep. Did he get in an accident?
I don't know.
Was
there a second DUI?
I don't know if there's a second DUI, but
right.
I think he was very drunk. He might have hit something. He presented a fake ID. It was like a whole thing. It was very bad. Yeah. And you're allowed one mistake, but hey, man, is this a pattern with you? What's going on here?
Yeah.
And that's before we get into the fact that, look at him, man. He's not an athlete. Whatever upside is there, you're telling me he's the next Drew Brees? Yeah, right. No. So he might be the best quarterback now, or he might even not. He had 17 starts in college. So who's to say he's pro ready? I mean, you could say he's the best fit for Kyle Shanahan's offense now. Is that why you draft a quarterback? Because he fits one system? I don't think so. I think you're trying to find the guy who's going to have the best career, regardless of system, regardless of team, the guy who's going to, transcend all that stuff. It ain't Mac.
Here's what I'll say. What are the things that the pundits that approve of Mac Jones say that he does great? He's great at what? Anticipation. Accuracy, he's good in the pocket, accuracy. Okay. Are these not all things that Fields and Lance, let's say they're not good at it, which is a complete lie. They are good at a lot of these things. But let's say they're not. Is this something that can be learned? Sure. We saw Josh Allen learn to be an elite, accurate passer at the next level. The guys like Lance and Fields, guess what? Mac Jones will never have an elite arm, and he'll never have elite athleticism.
No.
That's the bottom line. You can't teach those things. So what Mac does well, it can be taught. I'm not saying that it will be and that those guys will be elite in those situations, but it absolutely can be. And when you listen to Fields and you listen to Lance talk, I feel like they're hungry enough to get better. And that's all I need to hear, along with that athleticism.
And I have questions about Mac. I'm sorry. What is your level of hunger? I mean, Mr. 100 mil. Come on, man. You look like Johnny Manziel all of a sudden. I don't know anything about you. I question how serious you are. I don't question that about Trey Lance or Justin Fields or anyone else. Yeah, I think this would be, I mean, besides the fact that it's the wrong pick. I mean, you don't have to be an expert to look and see for yourself that this guy ain't it. I mean, they'll be ridiculed by the fans, by the league. It'll be a scandal if they take this kid. And I don't think they want it. Really, I don't think Kyle Shanahan cares, but the rest of the organization could, because the Niners have a brand that is way bigger and more important than Kyle Shanahan's personal ego. And he's more concerned with his ego and his legacy and da-da-da-da-da, but that's not what John Lynch should be concerned with. That's not what Jed York should be concerned with. And they should be making this pick for the right reasons.
Awesome. Absolutely. It's one of the things that I said about Lance, and why he would be the right pick is because he is a franchise guy, not just from a performance standpoint, but he's a guy that you can put in front of the fans and you can trust 100% that he's going to do the right thing. So those things matter. Whether people want to believe it or not, they absolutely matter. So
all you got to do is look at Lance and see the work ethic. Look at his body.
Of course.
Serious. Then look at Mac Jones. I'm not saying he's not, but you got to have some questions when you look at him and then you see the video and you read the article about his. I mean, come on, man. Who is this kid? I don't know. Not number 3. I don't think you can justify it. I think all you get is bad PR, and I don't see how you overcome it. He's got to be a Hall of Famer. I don't see that from him.
Before all this came out, I questioned how into it he was as well. When he was having those throws at the pro day, he was just laughing, joking around, acting like it wasn't a big deal. It's like, dude, this is your time to put your best foot forward and put everything on display. This is now your second pro day that you are flunking an open book test on, and you think it's a joke. I don't want that guy as my quarterback. I'm sorry.
Yeah, and it's like you had one good year at Alabama when you were 21. How come you couldn't beat out Tua? You came in at the same time with that guy. You couldn't beat him out. We saw Tua in the NFL. He's not good. He's not looking like an NFL franchise quarterback. I'm really feeling like the Niners are going to make the same mistake the Dolphins made, which is you draft this non-athlete little guy with a noodle arm for intangible reasons that are bogus. I mean, what you need is natural ability. And Tua doesn't have it. Jones doesn't have it. Herbert had it.
Yeah.
Trey has it.
Yep.
Fields has it. And I'm sorry, man, if you're going to pass on these guys who are just going to look like the best athlete on the field as soon as they're on, for some guy who's going to take years to master the pocket quarterback. And it's like, man, good luck. I'm not going to make that decision. That's on you.
And if you don't think that Trey Lance a year from now at 21 years old couldn't go to Alabama and do what he did, are you kidding me? Do you understand what he would have done at Alabama at 21 years old? We saw what he did at 19.
That's right.
Let's have him sit for a year and perfect his mechanics and then go to Alabama next year. Let's see what happens.
And that's what people didn't get last year with Justin Herbert and Tua. Like, just try to picture Justin Herbert at Alabama. Okay, did you do that? Now you correctly lined up your draft.
Right.
It's not that hard.
Right. And people that stand up for Mac, their argument is, well, he's better than Jimmy. Okay. Being better than Jimmy is not good enough at this point.
Also, you don't know that. You've never seen Mac Jones in an NFL game. You don't know that. You don't know that.
But I will oblige you in that argument. And let's say he is better than Jimmy unequivocally. Again, being better than Jimmy is not good enough.
Not good enough.
You have to be better than at least Stafford. At least, bare minimum.
No. 3 first-round picks. You have to be a Hall of Famer. Hall of Fame. Also, you're going to pass on Kyle Pitts, who is going to be a Hall of Famer. You're going to pass on Penei Sewell, who's going to be a Hall of Famer. You got to get a Hall of Famer. That's why I'm still on the Pitts train. Lance is interesting because I think he has Hall of Fame potential. Yeah. But, hey, man, no one's going to say, hey, at least you took a quarterback. No, you got to be a Hall of Famer. And if it's a tight end, so be it. If it's an offensive lineman, so be it. If it's a quarterback, great. Better be a Hall of Famer. Otherwise, you lost the trade, and the Dolphins are happy. Let's answer these questions because it's hell of them. Sam says Kyle wants to trade Jimmy to get cap space, so when he mess up in the draft with Jones, he can go get Deshaun Watson to save his coaching job. Man, I didn't see that coming. Maybe. Hey, 40 chess. Chris says, go look at QB Collective last tweet. Man, You go look at Cohn like
if it's anything like the others, I've got to imagine that it's them pumping up Fields, basically, is what they've been doing for about 2 days now. So,
yeah, no one else is. Quest for 6, Fields is obvious pick. Lance's project, worst accuracy, relies on his legs. Urban and Douglas scouted Fields. They don't even bother with Jones or Lance.
Okay. I mean, I guess
Urban runs a spread offense, though. You know what I'm saying?
Here's what I'll say. The Jones thing, whatever. Lance, he wasn't scouted by a lot of people. True. And guess what? Carson Wentz wasn't either. And for as bad as Carson Wentz has been, he was pretty much a lock to be an MVP in this league a few years back. I would say that he was pretty good coming out of NDSU.
And Trey Lance is better.
Yeah, he is. He absolutely is.
Trey Lance is better. Why are we so certain that Trey Lance can't play right away? He's a freak athlete. That'll help.
Yeah.
He played in a pro-style offense that prepared Carson Wentz to be good by the time he was 23. I'm just saying. Maybe he's more pro-ready than we give him credit for.
Also, if Urban did scout him, last I checked, he went to Georgia and then transferred to Ohio State after Urban left. So did Urban really want Fields? How bad did he want Fields?
Boom. Johnny Ellis says, do these reports point towards a Mac Jones draft, and is Gilmore a fair trade for Jimmy G?
Yeah, yes, of course Gilmore is a fair trade. If we could get N'Keal Harris in a 6th.
Yeah,
N'Keal Harry in a 6. If we could get Gilmore, if we could get a 5th round pick, yes, all of it's fair. Like I said, at this point, Jimmy's not worth a lot. And if we can get anything out of him, to me, it's worth it.
Gilmore. Hey, yeah, go for it, man. Shoot your shot.
Yeah.
Daryl Hicks says, if the Niners pick Jones over Lance and Fields, that's 4 black quarterbacks total, 2 in 2017 and now 2 this year that are passed over. How will it play with the locker room? I think that's a fair question.
We talked about this.
Yeah, you really tell me that these players are like, hey, man, I don't watch college football. I have no opinion. Let's just go with whatever Kyle says. Like, they all have opinions. They all see the pattern.
We talked about this about a month ago, and by the chat, it was a very unpopular opinion. But when Sherman came out and basically said, hey, I think Fields is the guy, at some point, most of these athletes are black. You don't think that they're looking and saying, hey, wait a minute, these guys are just as good, if not better, and you keep passing on them. Do I want to go play for that franchise?
Yeah.
Do I want to also pay taxes out the rear end and play for a franchise that will not sniff bringing in a black quarterback?
Yep.
These are questions that these athletes are going to have, and they're fair questions.
Yeah, I mean, beyond more reasons you can't draft Mac Jones, beyond the fact that the fans won't give him a chance. Will the team? I mean, will he be hated by his own locker room or a significant section of it before he even steps in? I feel bad for Mac Jones. I mean, honestly, he could be a nice kid who's immature and who's kind of getting swept up in Niner fans' anxiety. I mean, I would hate to be his brother right now and reading this stuff like, ooh, man, he doesn't really deserve it. But at the same time, Niner fans have good reason to be like, hey, this could really happen. We got to make sure this doesn't happen. We have to make sure this doesn't happen.
I want to be clear. You don't draft a quarterback based off of race, but it's not like Mac Jones is the consensus best guy. Fields was the best guy consensusly for multiple years. It wasn't until the Northwestern game that people started to question it. And even then, he went from 2 to possibly 3 behind Wilson. We're talking about 2 guys that most other teams have above Mac Jones. So with that in place, you're taking the better quarterback according to most other teams, according to fans, and guess what? They happen to be black. So that works just as well.
East Bay Chris says, is there any chance that this Kyle wants Mac Jones rumor is fake? I don't think so.
It could be.
But if they take Trey Lance, I'm sure he'll say it was. I never even wanted this guy. It's so funny how, hey, man, that's what I would say too.
Yeah, for sure.
Too. I never even liked that guy. What are you talking about?
Right. Or they take him and say, well, we liked all the other guys. Again, when we came into this, we had 3 guys that we liked. We figured Mac was going to be the guy, but we really started to like Lance and Fields. At the end of the day, we just couldn't overlook the talent that McCorkle Jones has. He's our guy. Like that's how that's gonna go.
Do you think there'll be a McCorkle question? Kyle, do you know that Mac's real name is McCorkle? And did that factor into your decision making?
Yeah.
Raymond says, Grant, Jesse, please preach this info on Twitter so people can see the pick is not Mac. Mac's issues with alcohol can't be taken lightly.
Do you follow us on Twitter? Do you follow us? We do this all the time.
Yeah. All I'm saying is if Justin Fields had the DUI plus the video, it'd be over for him, man. Over.
Oh,
first round, forget about it.
Yep.
Trey Lance too. Hey, good story from the kid from North Dakota. I guess we got duped. Guess we didn't know that much about you, did we?
Yep.
But it's Mac Jones. Hold on. He was just, do we even really, we can't.
We don't even get that. They just don't talk about it. They act like it never happened.
Yeah, man. I mean, they can ignore it now, but I'm telling you, if the Niners make this pick, me and Killian, Tim Kawakami, it'll be ruthless. It'll be nonstop, dude. I'm sorry. Yep. Jed knows it. Kyle doesn't care. John cares. Jed cares. I'm guessing. Yep. Philip says, Grant, you are working nonstop. Absolute legend. It's draft week, baby. And it's 49ers after dark, man. What are you talking about? Wednesday. Hold on. All right, we're almost done with the questions. Then we're back to the regularly scheduled programming. Tutu says, why don't we trust Kyle to take his guy? Jimmy was not Kyle's guy, and now look at Jimmy. That's what a Mac Jones fan would say. No, it's fair. Jack Cameron was just saying this on my thing. He's like, the ultimate irony is how Kyle and Niner fans are like, hey, man, you can't judge Kyle until he gets his guy. And now finally he's like, okay. That's my guy. And Niner fans are like, how dare you? First of all, how dare you? So I guess. And he's wrong.
Yeah. Listen.
He's freaking wrong.
Yeah. That's why. That's exactly why, because he's wrong and we all know it.
Yeah. I mean, from Jed York's perspective, are you that sold on Kyle Shanahan that you're going to trade 3 first-round picks to take some late first-round prospect because he's a good fit for Kyle's offense? How certain are you that Kyle's going to be your coach in 3 years or 2?
Let me bring up this point too. Niners have had 3 losing seasons in 4 years.
Mm-hmm.
How much of taking Mac Jones is a win now proposition versus the future best guy because he's worried about his job? I mean, he knows if he has another losing season and McVay does well, which is very likely to happen, he's on an extreme hot seat. So now,
and not just that, his reputation is down. Everyone's like, well, McVay is better.
Yes.
I mean, Shanahan can't win. He's got a lot of good ideas, but he's not a leader. He can't win. I mean, it's bad for him. I feel like there is an air of desperation coming off of Shanahan right now.
I agree.
And you know what? Jed should feel it. John should feel it. And they need to do something about it because that desperation is going to lead Kyle to make a bad decision, something that hurts the organization long term. Nothing that Kyle does is going to hurt him long term. He makes the wrong move and goes to another team. He starts over. Jed and John are stuck with this. They got to be really careful here.
Absolutely. And I'm not saying that Mac Jones should be the pick based off of a start now guy, but for Shanahan, he is comfortable with this type of player. So he doesn't have to change up a lot, at least not right away, especially if they don't have a full training camp, especially if they don't have preseason. He's looking at it going, okay, this guy can do exactly what I already have in place. We don't have to change a bunch, and we can roll with it. Versus if you go with Lance,
I can win this year with it. I can have a winning record. As opposed to with Lance, it's like, okay, well, it doesn't really matter what we do this year. It's about the future. You know, it's about winning multiple Lombardis down the line.
Right.
Kyle can't do that. His ego won't let him.
And quite frankly, he may not have time to do it.
I don't know, man. It's like you just got an extension. Talk to Jed. Find out where you stand, man, because I think this is more about your reputation than your job security. I think you got more job. I think he's worried about his rep.
Yeah.
Jeffrey says, what question will you ask at the Mac Jones press conference? Mac, when you were yelling 100 mil, what was that in reference to?
I swear, if we draft Mac Jones, I almost kind of want it to happen now just for that question. I swear, if you ask that question, the GOAT.
That's how Brian Gobble would do it, right? That's how Brian Gobble would do it. Mac, I saw the video where you were yelling 100 mil. Could you just take us through that moment and sort of explain? Oh, man, that would be great. I asked Reuben Foster about his little post-draft party sponsored by the vape company, and he said he was trying to turn over a new leaf. I was like, man, that is the problem. Hold on. American Explorer, thank you. Nectar Boy says, put Lance or Fields on the same Bama team Mac was on. Do they put better numbers up than Mac? Mac cannot be the guy.
Yes.
I don't know about Justin Fields. I have questions about Justin Fields. He's a great athlete, hell of an athlete. But let's just put him to the side. Yeah, I think Trey Lance would have done as well or better than Mac Jones. Remember, Mac Jones wasn't doing nothing until he was like 21, 22. Okay?
Yep.
Who knows what he would have done at 19?
Yeah. Well, I think Mac is 22 and he turns 23 in September. I could be wrong on that, but I'm pretty sure he's 22. Yep. Lance isn't 22 for a whole, not this year, but by his sophomore season, he'll be 22. So you don't think him at 22 could do what Mac just did? Listen, you're nuts if that's the belief.
And maybe the reason people like Mac Jones so much, Kyle Shanahan likes Mac Jones so much, his tape is so clean. Well, he didn't play till he was 21.
Right.
And he played on the best team in college football. Maybe if he played at 19 like Kellen Mond did, 18 like Kellen Mond did, it would have been, it would have looked a little more inconsistent and you wouldn't have been as excited about him.
Right.
I'm saying if all the tape of Kellen Mond before 2019 was burned, maybe his stock would be higher, and that doesn't make any sense. So I'm just saying.
Even Trevor Lawrence, if you look at him, he played really good as a freshman, but as time went on, really the more you watch him, the more kind of average, not average. I mean, he's a good player, but he just looked like a normal quarterback. He went from being, this guy's going to be a top 5 quarterback of all time his freshman year to, yeah, he's good, but is he consensusly the number 1 guy? There should be a
better
question
than Justin
there.
Herbert?
Is he
really?
Is he better than Zach Wilson, according to some people? Like that wouldn't have happened after his freshman year. So the more film that you put out, eventually things are going to start to surface is basically what I'm saying.
Wasn't there sentiment after he won the national championship as a freshman, like, hey, he should just sit out the next 2 years?
Yeah, there was.
He should just sit out. I mean, what more can he? Anyway, that kind of reminds me of the Maurice Claret stuff from when I was in high school, middle school. I don't remember.